Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something that's, well, kind of quietly changing how the web works? We're talking about structured data
Yeah,
and how it's going way beyond
way beyond.
just like tweaking things for SEO.
Absolutely. We're using the 2024 HTTP Archive Web Almanac today as our guide,
Oh, nice.
specifically their analysis of structured data on millions of websites.
Wow.
So think of it as a sneak peek at how sites are getting ready for a future where, AI is making all the decisions about search results.
That makes a lot of sense. I think when a lot of people hear structured data, it's kind of like their eyes glaze over a little bit. They think meta tags, schema markup, all that stuff.
All the technical stuff.
All the technical stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to show you why this is actually really fascinating and why it impacts you like every day as you use the web.
It really does. It's about moving from a web that's just, text and links to one that actually understands what the information means. Like, imagine AI being able to actually connect the dots between ideas, not just matching keywords.
Okay, so let's break down what this web almanac is telling us.
Okay.
First of all, the sheer growth of different types of structured data is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
We've got JSOLD, RDFA, Open Graph. Can you just clarify quickly what those are for our listeners who might not be, super technical web dev folks?
Sure. Think of them as like different languages
Okay.
that computers can understand.
Gotcha.
JSON-LD is like the most popular one right now. It's easy for both humans and machines to read.
Okay.
RDFA is an older one, but still out there. And then Open Graph is, that's really important for social media, how information looks when you share a link.
So it's like the web is becoming multilingual, but for machines.
Exactly.
The report's making it clear that this isn't just about, getting those little rich snippets in your Google search results anymore.
Yeah.
What's the bigger picture here?
It's about giving AI the tools to actually understand information. So instead of just seeing a list of ingredients on a recipe website,
Right.
AI can, understand the steps involved, the cooking time, the nutritional value.
Okay.
And that opens up all sorts of possibilities for things like, personalized search results and recommendations and all sorts of things.
This report highlights how this all connects to AI discovery and knowledge graphs.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I still find knowledge graphs a little mind-boggling.
Okay.
Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Imagine like a giant interconnected web, but instead of websites, it's concepts and entities. So think Albert Einstein, theory of relativity, physics. A knowledge graph maps out how all these things are related, not just through links, but through what they mean.
Okay.
And AI uses that to answer these really complex questions that old school search engines never could.
So instead of giving me just a list of websites that mention Einstein,
Right.
AI could actually tell me how his work influenced later physicists. Or break down the theory of relativity for, someone like me who didn't study physics.
Exactly. And it's starting to happen now. Bing Copilot, Google Gemini, even these experimental things like SearchGPT are all using structured data to make this happen.
Speaking of Google Gemini, there's a really interesting example in this report with WordLift.
Yes.
Apparently, if you ask Google Search and Gemini the same question, when was WordLift founded?
Yeah.
They both get the answer from WordLift's own knowledge graph, which that's pretty neat.
Right.
That's very meta.
Yeah, and that's a sign that AI searches, it's getting less reliant on just crawling websites and more about understanding the data behind the entities. It's a more accurate way and a more consistent way to give people information.
It seems like it. And this isn't just theoretical stuff.
No.
The report even talks about Google experimenting with an AI sales assistant that's built right into search results when you're shopping.
I know. It's amazing.
So AI is going to help me pick out the perfect pair of headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on, what I need, what I want to spend.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. It's really a glimpse into a future where AI is like your guide through the web.
Yeah.
And it understands not just what you search for, but what you actually need and what you want. But this reliance on AI brings up another really important point the report gets into, data validation.
Right. Because if AI is going to be, making recommendations or even decisions based on this data,
Right.
it better be accurate.
Exactly. And structured data is a big part of that.
Okay.
For example, Google's Data Commons project, they use structured data to build a knowledge graph specifically for fact-checking.
Wow.
And schema.org, which is like the dictionary of all the structured data.
Right.
They're constantly refining it to make sure the data is categorized and understood correctly.
So it's like building trust into the foundation of this AI-powered web.
Yeah.
You're going from maybe this is true to this is definitely true because the data proves it. I mean,
It is.
that's a huge shift.
Yeah, especially as AI is becoming more and more a part of our lives.
For sure. And it's leading to a total change in how people are approaching SEO.
Yeah.
It's not just about keywords anymore.
No.
It's about what they're calling semantic SEO.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the entities and the relationships, not just, stuffing your page with keywords.
Right.
So this report doesn't just explain all these high-level concepts, right?
No.
It actually gets into how websites are using structured data right now.
Yeah, it breaks down examples from content publishers, local businesses, e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
It's like a masterclass in how different industries are adapting to this new world.
All right, well, I'm ready to get into the details.
Okay.
This is where I really get excited.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with content publishers.
Yeah.
What are they doing that's worth noting here?
Well, the report found that content publishers are really going all in on website structure and navigation markup. We're seeing like millions of these implementations of schema that are designed to help search engines understand the hierarchy of content on a site.
So even though we're talking about AI and knowledge graphs and all this fancy stuff,
Yeah.
a well-organized website is still important. It's like having a solid foundation for a house before you start decorating, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it gives humans and AI a clear path to navigate all that content. And then beyond just the structure, the report's showing a big focus on content attribution and authority.
Right.
Which makes sense with Google's emphasis on EEAT and all of that.
Right, because in a world where, anybody can publish anything,
Right.
knowing who created that content and what their background is, that's essential for trust.
Exactly. Content publishers are using structured data to very clearly signal the author of an article, their expertise,
Okay.
the publisher, all of that. It's about transparency and accountability,
Oh, right.
which is really crucial online these days.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not just text they're focused on. The report also highlights how content publishers are using structured data to really connect the dots between their text content and their images and their videos.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
weaving it all together.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a richer tapestry of information.
It's beautiful.
It is. It makes the content more engaging for people, of course. But for AI, it's about understanding the context and meaning of all those different pieces.
So content publishers are really kind of leading the way here in creating this interconnected web experience.
Yeah.
But what about local businesses?
Yeah.
How are they using structured data to stand out, especially with so much competition?
Well, the report really emphasizes location and accessibility information.
Okay.
So, no surprise, structured data for addresses and opening hours,
Right.
and even accessibility features, for people with disabilities, that's widely adopted.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is this emphasis on precision.
You mean going beyond just like a street address? Yeah. The report points out this widespread use of geocoordinates
Okay.
to define a business's exact location on a map.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because,
It's crucial for these near me searches.
right.
And it helps personalize those results based on the user's exact location.
Yeah, if I'm searching for a coffee shop, I don't just want one in my city. I want one that's, 2 blocks away,
Right.
like right now.
Exactly.
But even with the perfect location,
Yeah.
don't businesses still need to build trust, especially with all the reviews and social media and everything out there?
Absolutely. And the report points out that local businesses are using structured data to showcase those customer reviews
Right.
and ratings and photos of their business.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's about providing those signals that can really sway a customer.
So it's like
or
structured data is kind of the online version of a friendly storefront, welcoming staff, all of that.
Exactly.
It's not just about being findable. It's about being approachable
Yeah.
and trustworthy. All right, let's talk about e-commerce.
Okay.
This is where I think things get really sophisticated.
Yeah, you could say that. The report, it really goes into how these e-commerce sites are using structured data
Yeah.
to enhance product discovery and get those conversions
Get
rate.
those sales.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the big takeaways here is the amount of detail they're giving about their products.
So we're talking way beyond just like name and description and price.
Yeah, way beyond that.
Okay.
They're using structured data to define the brand,
Wow.
size, and color options, shipping details,
Yeah.
specific features, even highlighting benefits and use cases.
Oh,
Like they're creating this digital twin of the product
That's cool.
that's as informative as a knowledgeable salesperson.
And I imagine all that detail is a goldmine for AI
Oh, yeah.
when it's trying to figure out what to recommend to someone.
Absolutely. The more AI understands about a product, the better it can match it to what a user actually needs and wants.
Right.
But it's not just about providing information. E-commerce sites are also leveraging social proof, just like local businesses.
Right. By using the reviews, the ratings?
Exactly. The report shows like really high adoption of review schema.
Okay.
So it's making those star ratings and testimonials really front and center.
It's like having a crowd of happy customers
Yeah.
all vouching for your product.
Exactly. And we all know like how much those reviews can influence us, right?
Oh, for sure. Okay, so we've covered how content publishers are using structured data, local businesses, e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
This Web Almanac report isn't just, a snapshot of what's happening now. It's kind of like a roadmap for the future.
Yeah.
What does it say about where this is all heading?
Well, it emphasizes that structured data it's going beyond just, these tactical things you do for SEO.
Right.
It's becoming the foundation of the whole AI-powered web.
Wow.
We're talking about like these interconnected frameworks that are going to be vital for everything from, conversational search to advanced AI systems that can like generate responses based on real-time information.
So it's about creating a web that's not just readable for humans, but understandable for machines.
Precisely. And it takes, kind of a two-pronged approach.
Right.
We need to use these actionable schema types to get those SEO benefits.
Yep.
But we also need to be thinking long-term, investing in these comprehensive schemas
Gotcha.
that contribute to this larger data ecosystem.
Like the difference between building a standalone house
Right.
and being part of a thriving neighborhood.
That's a great analogy because, the more we all contribute to this web of data, the more powerful and intelligent it becomes.
All right, so as we're wrapping up this section, what's the one takeaway for our listeners who might be thinking, this is all great, but what does it actually mean for me?
Well, it's pretty simple, really. Structured data isn't optional anymore. It's like the language of this AI web.
It is.
And whether you're a blogger or, run a little shop or you've got a huge e-commerce site, it's how you get found in this new era of search.
Yeah, it's all about moving from a web of keywords to a web of entities and relationships.
Right.
So if you want AI to understand your content, your products, your business,
Yeah.
you got to speak its language.
And the good news is this report shows us it's not some crazy future thing.
No, not at all.
It's happening now. There's tons of examples to look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen how these content publishers are creating these interconnected experiences, right?
Yeah.
With text, images, video,
Yep.
all linked together with structured data.
It's really cool.
It's like they're building their own little knowledge graphs inside their websites.
And for those local businesses, it's about providing all that location information, accessibility.
Right.
Making sure they show up in those near-me searches.
Right. But it's also about going beyond just, being found, right?
Yeah.
It's about building trust with customers.
Those reviews, the ratings, those pictures that give you a sense of the place.
Right.
All powered by structured data,
Yeah.
creating a really welcoming online presence.
And e-commerce.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking this to a whole other level.
Yeah.
The detail they can provide about products.
I know. It's amazing.
It's mind-blowing.
It's like having a virtual salesperson who knows everything about every product.
And that level of detail,
Okay.
that's what allows the AI to give these really personalized recommendations.
Right.
It's not just people who bought this also bought that.
No.
It's like based on your history, what you like, your budget,
right.
here's what you'll love.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's a whole new world
Yeah.
of online shopping.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said earlier about this two-pronged approach
Oh, right.
to structured data. Yeah. It's about balancing the short term and the long term, right?
Right.
So in the short term, you want to make sure you're using schema that gets you those quick wins for SEO.
That's the star ratings.
Yeah, like those rich results.
Showed your business hours in the search result.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, you want to think about the bigger picture. Invest in these comprehensive schemas that go beyond the basics, right?
Yeah.
Think about how your data can be part of this larger knowledge graph, how it connects to other stuff.
Like the difference between a standalone house and a neighborhood.
Right, exactly. Because the more we all contribute to this interconnected web of data,
Right.
the more powerful it becomes.
So for our listeners who might be feeling a little overwhelmed,
Sure.
what's the one piece of advice? Just
Jump in, experiment.
Okay.
Schema.org. It's this huge resource, but there are, tools and guides and stuff out there. Start thinking about the things that are most important to you. Your content, your product, your business.
Right.
Start by defining those things in a structured way.
It's like learning a new language, right?
It is.
It can seem scary at first, but once you get it, the rewards are huge.
The rewards are huge, and it's always evolving, too. So,
right.
The more you learn, the more you experiment, the better you'll be able to adapt.
I think that's a great point to end on.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot today.
We have. We've gone from the technical details to the big ideas.
Yeah, the philosophy of it all.
Yeah. I hope everyone listening is as excited about this as we are.
I know I am. Structured data.
Yeah.
It's not just a box to check for SEO anymore. It's the key to this whole new world online.
Absolutely. So keep learning, keep pushing the boundaries, and see what's possible on the web.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.